Welcome to Own the Chaos. The stock market is crazy and chaotic.
Crash. You son of a... God. Hold on. Pause.
Brad and Fat Man Zoom are here to help you own it.
They were targeting Wall Street when they should have been targeting Capitol Hill. They should have been targeting DC. This is the same thing, and this is what people keep missing.
Taking it to the suits, being relatable and hilarious.
You bought GameStop at 400, didn't you? To the moon, baby. To the moon.
Get ready to own the chaos in 3, 2, 1.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Own the Chaos. My name is Brad, and we got some special guests here today. Well, Fat Man Zoom isn't really a guest, right? He's still the host, but I forgot to move us over, so we're going to do that right now. What's up? Let's bring us on over. Everybody is in the house. We got Fat Man Zoom still on location, and then also, of course, Freddie Valois is in the house. It is Thursday, after all. What's up, fellas?
Hi.
Hola, how's it going, everybody? What's up, Chaos Crew?
What's up, Fat Man Zoom? Let's hit him up with the starting five, man.
Starting five, Sam Cisneros, Mike Hudson, Tammy Johnson, Rudy Brown, Sean Ethier. Only one Sean this go around.
The usual suspects, though, and nevertheless. The market's starting to come back a little bit here towards the end of the day, Fat Man Zoom. I was down quite a bit. A lot of investors were responding to the unemployment numbers this morning. They were a little bit higher than expected, but some things seem to be coming back.
Yeah, and I want everybody to stick around for the bell. Obviously, we're going to have earnings after hours. We got Intel, we got Snapchat, we got Twitter, we got Sam Adams. So we're going to be having our reaction afterwards. But I think the most important piece of what's going on today is we got to watch the close, because I said yesterday that if Crocs closes at 10%, I'm buying my first pair of Crocs ever. And you said you would as well. So yes. I got into Crocs yesterday. And I mean, it was close to, it's been hovering around 10. It got as high as 13% today. Now it's about 9%. It's going to be down to the wire, bro.
I know. I almost feel like, I mean, is there room for error? Like if it closes at 9.99%, do we still buy them?
No. We don't. No, actually, I would. I kind of just want to say I did.
Yeah.
But I believe in the 10%. I believe the stock gods are with us.
Yeah, so we'll have to watch that towards the end of the close as well. We were picking some out this morning, and they were quite hilarious. I said that I was going to get some pretty obnoxious ones, so we'll see what we come up with.
Rudy Brown says, buy the flip-flops. You'll never buy another brand. They're amazing.
I just bought a pair of flip-flops from Under Armour yesterday. I got the
Crocs flip-flops.
I know. I'm just saying. I got a pair from Under Armour. And
Under Armour has flip-flops?
Yes, and actually they're the. I'll bring them up here. So they're the. I just bought them, so you can see them there. They're the Rock brand, and there's like
those aren't flip-flops, bro.
Whatever they are, they're flops.
Those sandals.
Okay, well, sandals. I still got them.
I'm thinking of the one that has
the toe thongs. The thongs. The thongs. Yeah. But either way, these are like walking on clouds. They got Michelin rubber on the back of them, and they're phenomenal. Somebody go if you guys have an Under Armour near you, you need to buy them.
You wouldn't catch me dead in those. I never will wear those things. I remember Adidas. Everybody used to wear those basketball. I don't know what it is. I'm against it.
Like the little gel nubs at the bottom. They were like massaging your feet. Those things.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why I just didn't like them. I guess, I don't know. I like the thong. I'm a thong guy.
Slides are cool. Slides are cool.
Yeah.
Slides. That's what they're called.
Yeah. They're super comfy, man.
Yeah, I think I have an admirer. Not sure. Alexa said that I would look good with a man bun. I'm open to trying it.
Oh man,
you would crush it with a man bun.
Yeah. You'd have that Troy Polamalu look going on.
Yeah, and your boyfriend can grab your hair when you're giving him head.
Jesus Christ, that's hilarious.
Hey, if you guys haven't seen him before, this is Freddie Valois. He's here every Thursday. Hey, on that note, I feel like we just need to jump right in.
Let's do it.
All right, guys, I'm here with some headlines, and I was gonna start with Jeff Bezos, but I'm gonna keep this Croc wave going because Croc is killing it right now, dude. I mean, they had record revenue, and they raised their full year guidance amid the COVID messing up their supply chain thing. Here's one thing: the first pair of Crocs I ever saw was like back in 2008. It was from a buddy of mine who also wore "Life is Good" he had a couple of those "Life is Good" t-shirts, which, if we all know, I feel like those "Life is Good" t-shirt people, they're a little bit ahead of the curve. They're seeing things that we're not seeing. So this is in 2008. And now, since then, I have noticed in a significant amount in each demographic, white, black, everything in between, poor to wealthy, like the hood right now, the hood is fucking with Crocs. I learned this like 2-3 months ago that the hood is fucking with Crocs heavy. You know, I got wasp friends of mine, you know, the guys at the top of the chain, they're wearing Crocs now. Military. Hold on. My Fat Man Zoom. My question to you is: Crocs the number one footwear company?
You know, I've been looking long and hard at Crocs for about a year now, and I think the answer is yes. And it's based on what you said. So I had mentioned in a watch list that we put out a couple days ago that it was demographic agnostic, is how I explained it. And when you see a product that a kid can wear it, an elderly person can wear it, anybody in between, any gender, any industry, that's incredible for a company. So you could have somebody from literally birth to death rocking Crocs.
Yes.
And for that, I think it speaks well for them, and they could be at an advantage comparatively to you're talking about leisure shoe, which I don't know who dominates that other than them, but like you're now thinking about athletic shoes. So you're thinking about like Nikes or Vans, or Converse aren't actually comfortable. So that's just style. But those are very limited to demographics. And so I think it's yes. I think that when you look at the chart, and Brad, you talked about this yesterday, I think it's worth looking at it again. The chart has shown that it is just steady dominating. It's an incredible company. And now it's like mainstream popular, where you got artists. We talk about the Bad Bunny collabo, the Bieber collabo, the TikTok Crocs challenge. Influencers are getting on board. So yes, absolutely, Freddie.
Yeah, it's what I like about it is that from a cultural standpoint, it went over that hump of, because it wasn't like people were ambiguous about Crocs. A lot of people thought it was just unsexy. And now it's moved from unsexy and moving over to the sexy column. And I think Justin Timberlake will really appreciate that.
So a couple of highlights from that, the actual earnings that I want to bring up. And one of the things the CEO said, so the CEO actually talked about the fact that he understands the brand is very polarizing. And he claims that actually works in their favor because there's no gray area. You love Crocs or you don't. And if you love them, you're all in on them. And Crocs are one of those things where you could, like Vans, like Chucks, like Jordans, you can have a lineup of Crocs and you're going to keep collecting them. And Freddie, you don't know this, but I told Brad yesterday in our Chaos crew that the secondhand sneakerhead markets, the resale markets, Crocs are the fastest growing brand for resale. And they're getting 2x, 3x their value for their, and it's usually their collaboration. So like the Bad Bunny collaboration got like 3 times the value on the resale. So now it's got that community, which is really surprising.
Wow, that's awesome. Good for them.
Yeah. So as far as guidance, they did blow it out. Earnings per share expected were $1.60, came in at $2.23. Revenue was monster, Brad. $565 million expected. Almost $100 million more. It came in at $640 million in revenue for last quarter. But more importantly, like we say, it's about full year guidance. So they expect revenue to grow this year between 60 and 65% over last year. And they crushed it last year. That was from 40 to 50. So they went from 40 to 50 to 60 to 65. And I think that's why we're seeing this move. But as we go into the third quarter, they're expecting Q3 year over year to be 60 to 70%. But I'm going to warn everybody, I'm in it. I got in it yesterday after hours. I'm going to ride it out. I don't know if I would hold it through next earnings because I expect there to still be a move. But the one negative thing or bearish thing is the CEO mentioned supply chain issues, and they had to close down the Vietnam factory because of the Delta variant. And so I think that's going to play into next quarter, and that's their biggest actually factory for output. So he made it a nothing issue. I can't believe that only because it's got this huge growth, and to say 60 to 70%, who knows what's going to happen with internationally with their locations. I don't think I'm going to hang on through. I don't think I'm going to play it again through next earnings.
Yeah. I mean, I think that there's definitely there's some headwinds for sure, but there's a lot of tailwinds here too. It's hard to argue that this doesn't go higher. But I think that there could be some sort of slowdown. We've seen like a crazy amount of retail spending, and Crocs obviously falls right into that. I mean, we saw it with Nike, we saw it with Lululemon, and I mentioned that yesterday. At some point, the growth is going to probably slow down, and it could end up coming next quarter. But also remember that we have Christmas coming around the quarter following that. So it could be a good opportunity if we do see a little bit of a drop off in the third quarter in preparation for perhaps maybe the fourth quarter being a really good one.
Yeah, go ahead, Freddie.
No, I think we need to figure out, are people having sex in Crocs? Because I think it'll give us a more definitive answer as to whether we hold on for next earnings, because that's a big sign of, the growth.
and let me be clear. I think it's going to run into next earnings. If they don't beat, which that could cause them not to beat, it's a dip buy. I said this yesterday. I think this will outperform Nike, any other footwear brands. Really, Nike is going to be the one you're going to look at. Over the next 10 years, I think this is a buy. I think this is going to continue to dominate. And this may be one of those stocks that is like holding your account, but this is going to outperform these companies, I believe. So, yes, it is. There's no doubt in my mind it's going to boom over Christmas holidays. It's going to boom for next year. My only point is next earnings, you got to go from 70% to 60% to 70%.
Yeah.
It might hold it. So could be a good dip buy opportunity after that.
Yeah, absolutely. Some quality insights from Freddie too, by the way.
What do you got next, brother?
All right, next we got Jeff Bezos' penis-shaped rocket launch Dr. Evil comparison. I mean, talk about life imitating art. This makes the simulation theory just a little bit more believable, right? Like the chances, he's about as close as to Dr. Evil as you can get. I mean, was there not another design for the ship? Like, was there not something else? I feel like that was done kind of on purpose. That was very weird. Also, there's people saying that, hey, Jeff Bezos is in space and he's not paying his employees. And I think that's broke people talk, man. He's a fucking billionaire. You know what he could be doing? He could be running a pedophile ring or something like that. I'm okay with Jeff Bezos going into orbit a little bit. There's a lot worse things he could be doing,
Yeah.
Or he's not paying his employees a livable wage and, they have, work camp like work habits in there. But give the guy a little bit of space. Maybe he'll change his perspective. I'm thinking being up there and seeing Earth. Maybe he'll be like, man, I need to pay my employees a little bit more. I mean, it's Dr. Evil, and Dr. Evil is by far the most interesting character in Austin Powers. Also, you can't have. If you have an Amazon account and you use it, you don't get to have negative opinions about Jeff Bezos. We're just going to go ahead and clear that out the way. Why don't you go ahead and hit buy on your shopping cart, because you're going to buy the shit anyway, and shut the fuck up and stop being a broke person and get your money up. Stop worrying about Jeff Bezos and how he's spending his money. So my question to you, Brad, is it time to invest in space travel?
I think, oh man, I don't even know how I follow that up. I think investing in space travel is still going to be really speculative. Looking at Amazon, and you bring up some good points, and actually Claudia brought up a really good point too. There are other giant retail billionaire or $1 billion, in this case $1 trillion companies that pay far less, such as Walmart. So Amazon pays almost twice what Walmart does to its employees. So definitely a good point there. But as far as space is concerned, I think it's still really speculative. We look at Virgin Galactic and Amazon, which, by the way, I think the penis ship and Virgin Galactic, them being both, there's got to be a joke in there somewhere. But looking at both of these, it costs a shit ton of money. There's no way that I think that they're going to be able to make this profitable anytime soon, if at all. So I think it's going to be really speculative, at least for the next, I would say, even 10, 20 years before we start seeing things actually start paying for themselves. I mean, this is what we saw in regular air travel, where it took forever for them to actually become profitable. Now, it started off with a bunch of rich people being able to fly back in the day when planes first started to, it become popular. And I think we could probably see something similar where there's just a bunch of rich people flying into space, and then eventually it comes back down to the common man. So we'll see how that shakes out. But I think it's going to be a long ways off still. If you want to invest in space-related travel, by all means, but it's going to be really speculative, and I think it's going to be really bumpy until they actually start to gain some traction on this thing.
I think also if they ever start putting prison camps on the moon, then we could definitely start looking into space travel as an investment. Because you have to imagine, as life becomes more, the gap widens, we're going to want to get all that ugly stuff out of here. We don't even want it on Earth. Let's just put all the trash stuff on the moon, Maybe even the Kardashians can go up there as well. It's going to be, the moon may be kind of like the attic for Earth at some point, is what I'm seeing. So those are my predictions.
Oh,
I like that.
Wait, hold up. Sam Cisneros says, I fucking love Freddie, funny ass man. Claudia mentions the Amazon logo also has a dick-shaped smiley. No coincidence. I never knew that until right now. How did I know that?
It's just got a little curve. Holy shit, that's hilarious.
This dude. And to your point, Freddie, I was like, I agree with you. Like, what was option 2 and 3 on the spaceship shape that they actually turned it down and said, let's go with the flaccid ship?
Yeah, that's weird. It's like 2 on the nose. Like it's.
Oh my god!
All right, boom. Let's see. Okay. Another rich guy having fun. Another billionaire, not fucking kids or running a pedophile ring. My man Elon Musk. Ethereum prices rise after Elon Musk confirms that he owns the cryptocurrency. Now, in this article, he was very pro crypto. And he even even dismissed the whole energy concerns he had, which I don't really think was a concern. Because I feel like if we got servers working on porn, we'd have servers working on getting, taking out the banks, which I really like. I think Elon's having a little bit of fun with the power he has here, right? I feel like, like I said, a lot worse he could be doing. He wanted to see how much influence he actually had in the zeitgeist, and he has a lot to be controlling these currencies. But he owns Ethereum, loves Bitcoin. I think he sees the future, and I really think he's just having fun and seeing where he's at. Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, who wins in a fist fight? Is that's not the question I want. Don't even answer. That's a rhetorical. Just think about that one. Play in your brain. They're oiled up, so that's a fact. And Fat Man Zoom. Is this the catalyst for Ethereum to take off? What do you think, Fat Man Zoom?
Man, I think not only is this the catalyst for Ethereum, but I think potentially crypto as a whole. So just to give a little bit of color to this article, Elon Musk was at the B World Conference. He was on a panel discussion, and at the event, he had talked about crypto, and specifically he talked about his holdings. A couple key takeaways that he had mentioned was He mentioned that sooner than later, Tesla will be reinstating the opportunity to purchase Teslas with Bitcoin. So that's good news. Which is awesome, and we expected that. The other thing was that he had also talked about like the idea of him pumping any sort of securities, but pumping crypto. He said, I may pump, but I don't dump. And so that was actually like kind of, and it makes sense. Like, listen, if you have a holding and you have the ability to use it to your advantage, do it. And I think it's fair. Like he's saying, I'm not going to sell. So cool on that. But specifically, a lot of people already knew he had Bitcoin, but I don't think many people realize he had Dogecoin or Ethereum, especially because Tesla is the only stock he owns. So it's not obvious or a foregone conclusion that he would pick up crypto. I think it's actually surprising that he has 3. So Bitcoin, I think if you said, what does Elon hold? You would say Bitcoin. Dogecoin, very surprising. I think that's going to really go off. And Ethereum, I think this bodes well. It did have a good bounce back. Didn't have the run I thought, but it remains to be seen. However, to me, he's the smartest man in as far as like publicly traded CEOs. And so I'm following him, whatever he does. It doesn't matter. Any company goes public, I'm buying.
And Rick and Morty, the main character, the scientist Rick, says when you're an intelligent man and you see that, you take life for a ride. And I think that's what Elon's doing. And I just want to give him a round of applause and to thank him for, I don't know. I feel like sometimes people get rich and they get boring. He seems to be getting more interesting, which is, I think, hard to do when you have a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done a great job of balancing everything. And it's funny because people complain about how they don't hear anything from the CEOs. They give the political answer, all this other stuff. Don't complain about Elon because he's giving you everything you wanted. You ask Elon a question, he never skirts around it. He always gives you the direct answer. I mean, Joe Rogan says the guy's a robot. Legit, he may be. But like, he'll always shoot you straight. He'll always tell you whatever the answer is, right, wrong, or indifferent. And it's refreshing. And I hope it's the new age of the CEO, new age of the business owner. Dave Portnoy does it, and Elon Musk does it. So I love the way he operates, and I love his honesty and transparency.
Yeah, so somebody had mentioned something about Jeff. Oh, D-Ray mentioned that Bezos looks like a buff guy who shouldn't be buff. Like you can see his regular self hiding in plain sight. That's very true.
He definitely uses like shadows and angling, but who doesn't? I mean, you know, that vest with the polo look also gives you like it's like, you know,
yeah,
it's like battle armor to him. All right, let's see. Tensions between President Biden and tech giant Facebook is at a fever pitch. I mean, I don't even know what. Can you guys tell me what the fever pitch is with this story before I go on my rant? Because I couldn't find that. They didn't like.
I think a lot of it just has to do with like things are like tensions are rising between Facebook and the Biden administration, really just the government, because they think they're overstepping and that they're not doing their job at, like, I guess, against, some of the misinformation that's out of there. So it's like either they're doing too much as far as censoring is concerned, or they're not doing enough. And it just seems to be quite the balancing act.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be a tough one because essentially with the censorship, that's a whole power thing. Once you centralize power, it's hard to break that shit up, man. And these tech companies, I agree with their right to do it because they're their own company. But at the end of the day, censorship is anti-enlightenment. And that is like, I mean, it's just a bitch move. It's not what you want. It's weird, too, because I feel like it's going to inadvertently make it so that the internet in general, you are incentivized to push a certain agenda. And right now that's going to be left. And I think throughout time that might switch to right, because back in the Bush administration, the right was highly, they wanted to censor things through the FCC. So it's funny to watch these political parties switch up their values in real time. And now with how fast we spread information, we're seeing that faster and faster.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, they got all our information. We're fucked, right? Let's just hand it all over to China early. I've been sending my friends Chinese flags and text messages. I've been posting it on my story just so that when they officially take over, they can see that I've been repping since 2019. You know what I'm saying? They're like, this is 2040. They've already dotted the I's and crossed the T's because that's how the takeover is going to happen. They're not going to come over here with ships, right? That's barbaric. Come on, the Chinese, they're ahead of the game. All right. Let's see. Also, red and yellow looks great with my skin tone. Fat Man Zoom, you might feel the same way. Red and yellow, Chinese colors, it just makes the skin tone pop, guys. It really does, Let's see. What else? Freaking Brad, my question to you, should anyone be worried about buying or holding Facebook?
No, I don't
fucking wait.
It's all good. It's all good. No, I think Facebook is going to be just fine. Here's what matters to investors the most, and it's going to be how much money Facebook actually makes. Right now, they have 9 billion companies that they work with, so 9 billion clients that they work with that they get money from. And I'm sorry, 9 million. And so it's with an M, 9 million. And that's an insane amount of businesses that they work with. It is primarily small business. And we saw this a year ago where a lot of the large corporations were boycotting Facebook, and then Facebook basically gave everybody the middle finger, and it continued to move up. I mean, nothing seems to really stop them from making money. And I mean, the government can say what they're going to do, but it never actually ends up happening. How many times have we seen these big tech companies come into Congress and then they say what they got to say? Everything goes back to normal. I think it's just another cycle of all of this bullshit happening. And I think Facebook is going to be just fine. These companies are going to be around for the long haul. And I don't think there's any reason to be worried about it. Any dips that comes as a result of any kind of scare, I think are worth being bought up, especially with Facebook.
Hold up. Sorry, guys. First off, let me just comment on that, but can you pull up the Crocs chart, bro?
Yeah, it's at 10. Yeah, I can pull it up.
Sorry.
I can't have you guys pictured on the Weeble slide.
That's totally fine.
Okay.
What I will say about Facebook, I think these administration things, we've talked about this before, they're dip buy opportunities. So actually, I think it's a good thing for holders, because we see it every time, bro. With any tech giant, it dips and then it just comes back. So I would agree with you, Brad. It's a non-issue.
Yeah.
However, Crocs, bro, we're coming down. We got 3 minutes. I want to set the stage. What is it at right now? It needs to close at 131.97 or 131.98 for us to be buying some Crocs.
Right now it is at 132.06 and climbing. It's actually moving into the close. It is up 10.09%. Fat Man.
It's going to be wild, man. It's right.
We're coming down to the wire. We got 90 seconds to close, and it is almost there.
It's like edging.
How many people we got in the house?
We have 88 people in the house. I guess YouTube was slacking on the notifications today. And 19 likes, which is weak sauce. So if we could get the likes up, we certainly would appreciate it. With 88 people watching, let's try to get the likes up to 50. I think we can make it happen.
Yeah, Rudy, we're on it, brother. 4 minutes. We got it. What'd you just say, Freddie? Did you say something about edging?
Yeah, it feels like that when everyone's like, oh.
Jesus.
What is that?
Oh.
Edging.
Wait. All right, we're coming down. Countdown. Hold on. You can tell us afterwards.
We got less than a minute to go, and Crocs is falling into the close now. It's down to 131.83. There's got to be a whale that comes in here to start buying it up into the close. We're getting close here. It is.
I wish we knew the seconds.
We got 37 seconds left. 20 seconds. And it is at 131.93.
97, 98.
We got 10 seconds to go before the close.
Come on, baby. 6 cents. Let's go, baby. It's not going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're going to see some continued selling here. Watch it go off after hours. And we are officially closed. It did not close over 10%. 9.96% is what it closed at.
Man,
It closed 5 cents
Yep.
from where it needed to be. That's wild.
that's a good call on your part, though, right? That's still good for them, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's incredible.
And that was luck. By the way, I pulled 10% out of my ass.
Yes.
Like, I thought it could go off, but like, no, you never know what going off means, which I don't know if you saw, Brad, but Domino's kept going off. Kept going.
Bro, Domino's like fucking crushed it. I think
it was 13%. I actually looked at their earnings. I actually was not as impressed. Their same source sales were only up 2%, which worries me.
Well, look at that boner candle on this daily chart. Good Lord. That is insane. Okay, so earnings today. We got Intel, ticker symbol INTC, reporting. We also have Sam Adams, the ticker symbol SAM. Then we have the socials are starting this week, and that is Twitter, ticker symbol TWTR, and then also Snapchat is also reporting. Did I get them all, Fat Man Zoom?
Yep.
So those are the four that are reporting this afternoon after hours. If you guys are just joining us, we are covering the live earnings reaction right now. So those are the four that are going to be the ones to watch. Right now, it looks like Intel is actually on the move. It is up over 3%. So it looks like they're the first ones to come in to report. It is rocking and rolling here. I hope Arfin's in here. Arfin, give us the numbers if you're here on some Intel. But yeah, this thing is rocking right now, Fat Man Zoom.
Yeah, looks like they beat estimates were $1.03 a share, came in at $1.24, raising year-end guidance and beat on revenue pretty solidly. For you think about a company that's been around, a legacy company, expected revenue $18 billion, beats comes in at $19.68 billion. All good stuff.
Yeah, it's pulling back here a little bit after hours. Is now down 1.6% from where it was, up over 3%. So pretty good solid numbers. This Intel's been something that's been kind of like lagging some of the other chip makers, and with AMD and Nvidia just going the hell off. This is actually pretty promising for Intel. We come back out to the daily chart here, and it has really kind of suffered and been sideways ever since their last earnings. So maybe this could be something that actually gets them kickstarted back over. It'd be nice to see if they opened up over the 50-day moving average here, represented by this yellow line that I have here. If it opens up over that, I think that we could see a potentially decent reversal here for Intel, and maybe they could start to come back into the limelight a little bit.
I think Intel could be one of those situations where they report earnings, great. There's going to be something about the shortage, and they've had some supply chain issues themselves. But I think it's one of the situations that it probably sells off tomorrow.
Yeah.
And because people are pussies. Like, I'll just say, like, people just want analysts to tell them what to do. I think this sells off, and I think the analysts then say, oh, no, guys, this actually was really good. This is awesome. It's a buy. And they start getting into it. So that's my prediction on Intel. I actually think there's a lot of room to run. NVIDIA is still my number one. AMD is still my number two. But I think Intel still has a green second half of the year.
Yeah, I mean, with it moving sideways over the last 90 days, it has definitely suffered. So we'll see if these earnings give it a little bit of a jump start here. Still waiting on earnings numbers from Sam, or the Boston Beer Company, Sam Adams. And Twitter and Snapchat. Right now, we still don't have those numbers just yet, but as soon as we will get those to you. Do we have the?
Can I?
Go ahead.
Woohoo! Go ahead. No, you.
Do we have the estimated the estimates for the last three here by chance?
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
hold on, I can pull them off for you.
Don Fran's in the house. What's up, Don? Good to see you.
So, as far as Snapchat's concerned. So that was one of your top stocks on Sunday, on
Yep.
Stockwatch Sunday. And you had, sorry, I pulled up the wrong thing. Okay, so you had, nope, I don't. I don't. I thought I had those, but you did not give those on Sunday.
Oh, okay.
Or at least I didn't wrote them. You might have. What are the other ones? We need Sam. Sam earnings per share is $6.85. You said that was a hold. I have them coming in at or no, you actually said you had them coming in at $7. I had them coming in at $6.89. And I don't think we did not have Twitter on there.
Okay, so Snap's estimated earnings per share right now are at a loss of 1 cent. I think they come in profitable. I think they come in positive. I'm going to go 2 cents on Snap, and then Twitter. Twitter, I think, could potentially struggle. Did you see that they took the fleets, or they're going to be taking fleets away from their platform?
Yeah, I saw that. That's the story feature, right?
Yeah, the story feature that you see like on Instagram and Snap and all that.
Yeah, I mean, this is the problem with Twitter. The difference, you look at Twitter and Snapchat, all Twitter does is follow whatever everybody else is doing.
Yep.
You know, stories come up, they do stories. The Clubhouse, by the way, nobody's talking about Clubhouse, and that was like the next greatest thing.
Yeah.
When was the last time you heard about Clubhouse? Talk about the flash in the pan.
Right.
But they just follow.
Yeah.
Snap creates new shit. They don't try to copy. Snap is where stories even came from.
They
Instagram copied them. So anyways, Twitter annoys me because they don't try anything. They're not bold, and it frustrates me.
Well, they are popping off right now. They're up over 9% after hours. Arfin came in with the earnings estimates. They were at 7 cents. They came in and beat at 8 cents. Their estimated sales were 1.19 billion compared to the 1.06 billion, and it is popping off, Fat Man Zoom.
They said something that had nothing to do with those earnings, because that doesn't sound good.
The earnings didn't seem like they were anything crazy. It's almost like they just came in line for the most part. But yeah, this is popping off like crazy right now.
And here's the thing: what I'll say about Twitter, even though I just bash them, I love what they do.
Yeah,
they're so different.
Yeah.
And so they how they started, like nobody can compete with Twitter and how they get that information out. It's like a news source.
Yeah.
But I don't think they have to be like Instagram and Snapchat. I think they could be their own thing and really leverage what they currently have. I love Twitter.
Yeah. So they raised their guidance for Q3 1.22 billion or to 1.3 billion compared to their 1.17 estimate. So it's still not even though they raised guidance, which is great, it still doesn't seem like anything that I would consider something that would just blow me away. But hey,
yeah,
whatever. I mean, they're still killing it, man.
There's something in there. We don't know. But can you pull out from
to the daily, or
can you pull out from last quarter to this quarter?
Yeah. So last quarter, I think they missed last quarter, if I'm not mistaken.
They did. Crazy how a question changes when you where you put your pause.
So they ended up pulling down here and actually came off of the 200-day moving average and has been moving up ever since. And now they're up right now they're up 6% after hours after a crazy move up on earnings.
Did you pull out?
I did. Here you go. I pulled and I prayed.
I'm excited for Snapchat. I don't know if they're gonna have a 10% reaction because they've had two really good last earnings, but man, I hope they crush it.
Yeah, me too. Bringing us all back full circle here. If you guys are just tuning in, we see some viewers are coming in here after hours, I guess, to watch us give our reactions. We already have the Intel reaction. The Intel earnings came out. They ended up beating, and it's actually they're struggling to stay green here after hours, but they end up beating earnings and had a pretty decent outlook here. Twitter we heard from as well. They came in and beat earnings pretty much in line. Didn't seem to wow anybody, but they are up 6.5% after hours as well. We're still waiting on Snapchat. We're still waiting on Sam, the Boston Beer Company, otherwise known as Sam Adams. And we have 144 of you guys hanging out.
Oh, nice.
Can we get some more thumbs up? We certainly would appreciate it. We're at a point now where I think that we could get to 80 likes. Guys, if you could get the thumbs up, we certainly would appreciate it just to help push this content out even more.
So I just got a headline through my notifications. So this was the fastest revenue since 2014, fastest revenue growth. So they're seeing the fastest growth in 7 years. So that looks like what it could be. Maybe if we get 80 likes, Freddie will tell us what edging is, because I still haven't heard from him.
Yeah,
what
we
that
get
is.
80 likes. I will tell you what edging is. So ain't doing it until we get 80 likes.
Jesus. All right, bringing us back over to the charts here. You can see Pinterest is actually getting a pretty decent move off of the Twitter news. It's now up over 3% after hours as well. So I want to check in to see if Facebook's reacting, and it looks like it is as well. So this is actually pretty interesting stuff. We always kind of see this, and now Snap is up over 9% right now after hours.
Holy shit.
Wow, this thing is going off. It is at $69 a share. Hello. And it's continuing to move up here. We'll see what happens. What a boner candle out of Snap right now after hours. It looks like their earnings are in, and Arfin has them. The estimated earnings are, the earnings per share is at 10 cents. 10 cents to the estimate of a loss of a penny. Their sales came in at 982 million compared to the 844 million estimated. That is a huge beat for Snap. So they beat by 1,000%.
Yeah, 1,100%. That's insane.
Wow, that is crazy. Snap is going the hell off right now. I'd be curious to see what their revenue per user is. That's usually one of the big metrics that investors look for. But yeah, right now, Snap is just going apeshit after hours. That is nuts.
Well, and their revenue beat by almost 140 million. Holy shit.
Yeah.
140 million. It was 844 estimates, and they came in at 982 million, which right at that $1 billion mark, those landmark numbers tend to do this type of thing as well for companies. $1 billion revenue quarter. That's awesome.
Especially for Snap. I mean, we had such a tough quarter for Snap last quarter, and it is good to see that they have just bounced back beautifully. And you can see some of the other social media platforms our companies are responding to this. Pinterest is up still 2.5%. Facebook is also up 1.5%. So pretty good response all the way around. Should make for a pretty decent day tomorrow as well, Fat Man Zoom, just overall in the markets. These companies are still continuing to grow. I'd be surprised if we don't see a green end to the week in response to some of the earnings we're seeing.
So just some random details are coming in through Twitter that I want to throw out. But one I wanted to point out was their daily active users grew 49%. But someone said... shoot, it's so hard to keep up with Twitter. 23% growth year over year. I think it was 293 million. I'm just going off of memory on what it said.
Yeah.
The point is for it to be 23% over last year, the same quarter when everybody was at home, everybody was using it. That's huge.
That's monstrous. And I think it goes into to the points that we were making, though, earlier in the year, Fat Man Zoom, when people were worried that these companies were not going to grow as fast as they did last year. But it was well, wait a minute, what brings them the most money? And it's businesses. So if more businesses are opening up this year and people are getting back to work, they're going to need to get the exposure to get the people butts back in their seats, so to speak. So that's where they're going to continue to grow and continue to crush it. I mean, Snap still hasn't sold off any. It's still up over 9% after hours here. What a wild move from them.
Well, here's what I don't think people are realizing. The argument last year was daily active users and people were at home, so people using the platform. And so then they think we reopen and now you're bearish. But we talk about ad revenue. That's their primary revenue stream.
Yeah.
Now, why it's perfect now is, yes, we're reopening, but people aren't going back to work. So you're still getting people on their social media, but the companies are coming back. So there's more ad revenue coming to these sites, these social media sites.
Right.
So it's actually a perfect storm.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. Don brought up a good point. He says, I wonder what Snap will come up with next for everyone to rip off. It's the AR. I hands down, it'll be the AR tech.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, what a move for Snapchat. I mean, just unbelievable here. Twitter's still holding up pretty nicely here. It's moving up still. It's now at $69.59. Had to just shout that out. It's continuing to climb. Snap is still climbing here, now up over 10% at $69.60. Jeez,
So
man.
Sam's the only one we're waiting on?
Yeah, Sam's the last one here, and it is actually down. It looks like they just came out. Sam Adams is down 6% here. It is taking a pretty big drop after hours so far.
Man. I would say this, I would have not expected it to play out this way.
For Sam?
If you took those 4 companies.
Oh, yeah, and picked which ones were going to do well, yeah. Yeah.
Is it Intel still green?
Intel actually just turned red, just barely. It's still, I would say it's pretty much flat. It's down 0.8% after hours right now, after having a pretty decent run up right out of the gate. Still don't have the numbers in from Sam just yet, but it looks like their earnings were released.
Yeah, I think they just came in. Net revenue of 602. So I should have them in a second as far as the expectations. They actually look pretty good. Up 33% from the same period last year. So an increase of 150 million. Net income, not great. And earnings per share. Is this right? Earnings per share of $4.75.
Wow.
That's a massive miss. That cannot be right. Is that right?
That's got to be. I mean, to get a reaction like this, I would imagine so. It's now down actually is down 7% now. It's continuing to accelerate the sell-off here, down 7.66%.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, Arfin, the expectation was over $6 for Sam, and they came in at $4.75. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was $6.69.
Yeah.
Revenue estimates were $657. They came in at $602, so they missed on both.
Wow. It is now continuing to fall.
Missed.
Yeah, it's down almost 10% here after
Holy
hours.
Shit.
Pretty big sell-off. I don't think this is the end for Sam, though. Maybe they had a pretty terrible quarter, and I'm sure we'll get some explanations as to why. But, bro, I feel like with people going back out, and especially from the hospitality standpoint, I feel like the third quarter here that we're in right now should be good for Sam. So maybe this ends up presenting itself with an opportunity to buy the dip on.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. And I wonder if we're going to hear the supply chain issues. And I think potentially costs, but if revenue's down, earnings per share, the cost would factor into that.
Yeah.
So maybe just like aluminum costs or any of their bottling costs, shipping delays, and maybe there's some meeting demand issues. There's a lot of things that could happen, but I bet it's factors that are happening from a macroeconomic perspective that if it is the case, if that's what we hear, just supply chain issues, definitely an opportunity to buy.
Yeah.
Just about when.
Yeah.
When you get in.
Yeah, I definitely would wait for this to settle down to see if we can start seeing some buying returning, but it is still selling off pretty horribly here, now down 11.5%. By the way, if you guys are just tuning in, first of all, hit that like button. Second of all, we've just covered all the earnings that have come out here so far. So we have Snap that came out and crushed earnings, nearly $1 billion quarter for them. It is now up over $71 a share, up 13.5%. It is still climbing here. I mean, what an absolute monster. Twitter also came out and beat earnings, came in line, which wasn't really earth-shattering to me, but it is still climbing up here now, too. It is up over 9% had highs of $76 after closing at $69.57. What a move from that. And then we also had Intel, and they came out and beat earnings, had a pretty decent quarter, but it doesn't look like investors are really responding well to this. It is continuing to sell off now, down 1.5%. And then Boston Beer Company, man, what a sell-off here. Pretty crazy. What a wild afternoon, Fat Man Zoom. And Freddie, I have to say. Wild afternoon, guys.
Yeah. Crazy. 2 more likes, and I get to tell you guys what edging is. 1 more like. Wow, I can't believe this is like people want to know. This is what I love about the Chaos Crew. You guys want to know the truth. 1, dude, look at that. All right, guys. So edging is an ancient masturbation technique where you, I think it comes from the foothills of Nepal, but you masturbate, and right before you're about to come, you stop so you don't come. And you do that as many times as you need to whatever, Sometimes you come by accident, and that's okay, It's a practice, it's like yoga. Edging's like yoga. The stock market's like edging. It's all tied in, guys.
Jesus Christ. Well, there you have it.
I appreciate that.
So much education on this channel. They don't call it Own the Chaos for nothing.
I do. Don had said something about he's never seen a line for Sam Adams. First off, Sam Adams, as far as if you look at draft lines, they do really well. Yeah. But people may or may not realize Truly Hard Seltzer is owned by Sam Adams. Twisted Tea, which was really popular.
Yes.
But Truly Hard Seltzer is owned by Sam. So there's a lot of things they own that may not realize.
Yeah. Lots of brands in there as well. The people have mixed reactions to the edging. But that was freaking hilarious. Anyways, guys, what an afternoon. I've had a blast. I can't believe we've already come up to our hour of the show. Thanks so much for hanging out. If you guys did like the stream, certainly continue to give us those thumbs up on the way out the door. Freddie, thanks so much for hanging out. If you guys want to go follow Freddie, he is a comedian down in Raleigh. We've had him on the show now for 3 weeks in a row. We're going to continuing to work out the kinks and all that good stuff. We certainly appreciate the support and love that you've been giving him. Please go give him a follow at Freddie Valoy on IG and on TikTok. Freddie, anything else you want to mention?
No, that's it. Thank you guys for having me on.
Absolutely, man. It's been a blast. Fat Man Zoom, final words.
Stock Watch Sunday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to be talking about Tesla earnings.
That's right, guys.
Be there.
And then make sure you're also hitting that join button next to subscribe. If you want to be a part of the Chaos Crew, get access to my portfolio, trade alerts, our Discord group, all that good stuff. Hit join next to subscribe. You'll get all of that, plus our daily watch list as well. Guys, thank you so much. We love you. We'll see you on Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. I quit this bitch. Bye.
Bye.